Welcome to Jane Jackson Careers, a podcast to inspire you to take your career to the next level. In this podcast, I chat with amazing professionals who are leaders in their field and find out what's made them a success. Many of them have successfully made changes in their careers. They may have changed industry, changed job function, made big city or country moves, or taken the huge leap into entrepreneurship. I also share practical and actionable career tips for those who want to explore what to do next in their career and aren't sure about what steps to take to get moving. Subscribe to this podcast for regular updates or visit me at janejacksoncoach.com.
Hey, this is John Lee Dumas introducing Jane Jackson Careers, a podcast that will inspire you to take control of your career and your life. Here's your host, Jane Jackson, career management coach and author of Navigating Career Crossroads. Be prepared to ignite.
Well, hello and welcome back to my Careers podcast. Today I'm talking to LinkedIn expert Adam Houlahan. Now, Adam is rapidly making a name for himself in the world of social media. 4 years ago, though, he did not have a Facebook account. He'd never seen Twitter or LinkedIn. Now, roll forward to 2015, and his profile is rated by LinkedIn in the top 1% worldwide. They use his profile in their own marketing campaigns, and he is the most viewed profile in Australia for social media professionals every day. Adam has amassed a follower base in excess of 400,000 people globally across multiple networks and still grows by thousands of followers every week. He regularly presents, specializing in social media for small to medium business, and consults to a number of private clients in Australia, North America, the Philippines, Singapore, and the Middle East. His first book, Social Media Secret Sauce, is available now. It's regularly featured by Amazon as one of the top recommended reads in its category. And his newly released training courses, Social Media Mentor to Success and LinkedIn to Success, are receiving rave reviews worldwide. I'm so lucky to have Adam on the show today, and welcome, Adam.
Thanks, Jane. It's wonderful to be with you too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to our chat because I think I'm going to find out a lot of really interesting snippets of information from you. So to kick us off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your early days, and where you're from?
Sure. Now, I live on the Gold Coast in Queensland. I was actually one of the few people who were born here. But I did actually grow up around Sydney and mostly in Port Stephens, Nelson Bay in New South Wales. And that's really where my work career started. And my family owned a number of businesses, restaurants and hotels, that type of thing, in Nelson Bay and Newcastle. So my early days were really spent in the family businesses in those locations.
Yeah, and in a beautiful part of the world as well. Nelson Bay is lovely.
It is
really
beautiful.
Lovely. Now, when you were growing up, because this podcast is all about careers, I'm going to drill down into your career. When you were little, and also when you were in your early teens, was there a career that you dreamt about that, what would I like to be when I grow up?
There was, and I really had my heart set right through school on actually going to the Air Force. And in the air traffic control part of, controlling fighter planes and that sort of thing. So that was definitely my desire at an early stage. I even went as far as doing all the entrance exams and everything for that. But then, never went ahead with it.
I think with fighter planes, it's every little boy's dream, isn't it? It's a little bit like Top Gun. And so fast forward a few years, and then in your mid-20s, what were you actually doing?
I actually, as I said, I grew up in Nelson Bay, and then when I was 21, I moved back up here to the Gold Coast and really wanted to get into sort of a lifestyle type of career. And I ended up working at running a health resort here on the Gold Coast, right on the beach. And people would come up for like a healthy holiday. And so we'd take them all sorts of activities and things throughout the day. And after that, I moved to working with a resort here as a a water ski instructor, which was actually my passion and growing up from a long time. And so up until I started my own business at 24, that's what I was doing. Was really that real lifestyle type of job, loving what I did every day.
Oh, I can't think of anything nicer than being a water ski instructor. How fantastic to be out in the open air, in the ocean, in the sun. I think that would be a fantastic dream for anyone up on the Gold Coast. And so what was the first business that you started?
It was in the same vein. It was a water ski and snow ski shop. And that was here on the Gold Coast, and we built that up to 3 stores. Had the one here on the Gold Coast and 2 in Brisbane, along with my partner who originally owned one of the other stores in Brisbane. And did that for almost 14 years.
Wow, 14 years. So that's amazing. So how did you go from the water skiing and your own business, really to do with lifestyle and health, into becoming the LinkedIn expert? There must be a really interesting path there.
Yes, it was actually. So after I sold the businesses, I actually had another business, which was a boat manufacturing company, and it was based here on the Gold Coast as well. And then a few years later, I sold out of that as well. And at the time, my wife was pregnant with, basically our 5th child. And I decided we sold the business. I was just going to have a 6-month break and do nothing. And which didn't actually end up that way. I ended up working on a movie set here on the Gold Coast for a little while as a double for Gary Sweet. And because if you see my profile image, you'll see why I look a little bit like Gary.
You're right. Yes, you do. I'm looking at your picture now as we're speaking, because we're talking over Skype. And now that you mention it, you do. Yeah. Fascinating. Okay, carry on.
So it was the movie was called Narnia: Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Uh-huh. And while I was on the set, I met someone who wanted some help with. They owned a company and. Were having a lot of trouble with their retail program, and because of my background, was in retail, and so I agreed when the movie finished to come along and give them a bit of a hand with this. This is quite a large company; they had about 1,200 accounts around the world, and it was really tanking. They were really losing money fast, and so I was doing a lot of research on that and looking into companies similar to what they were doing around the world and why some of them were doing really well and some or a lot weren't. And what it turned out to be was that the companies that were really, really doing well in a difficult market were all embracing and were early adopters of social media. And so, wow, that's an interesting thing. And as you said in the intro, at that point, I didn't even have a Facebook account. I'd never seen anything to do with social media, had no real interest in it at all. And it was just the more I researched into this for this company, the more I found that, and became convinced that social media was really going to become a very crucial part of doing business going forward. And so I just kept researching and more and more into it. And that sort of was the start of the journey. And once I sort of really became highly convinced that any business in the future was really going to have to be able to do social media in a powerful way, it just almost became an obsession, and eventually it turned into a business.
Yeah, I think with social media, it can really get into your blood, and so many people do actually almost become addicted to it, don't they? Because it's right there, it's in your face, and it's such an easy way to connect with people. So it sounds like, Adam, that you really have entrepreneurship in your blood, because from being a water ski instructor to getting a water ski business and then a boating business and then helping other businesses grow as well. It's something that must be, a real passion for you to grow your own business.
Oh, certainly. It's like we said, growing up in that environment, my entire life. Where my parents had businesses, I was exposed to it from a very early age, and I have had a very good grounding and understanding of what it took to build and run a successful business. So I did go into it very much with my eyes open and aware, and but also had some good mentors and business partners along the way. But I think you're right. I think that entrepreneurial spirit is either in your blood or it's something you need to do a bit of training to acquire the knowledge for.
And now, in such a short period of time, in 4 years, you've become the LinkedIn expert. And from someone who wasn't even interested in social media only 4 years ago, is an incredible trajectory, isn't it? So tell me more about your LinkedIn expert, AdamHoulahan.com business.
LinkedIn is one of the platforms that I use. It's certainly my favourite one, but I do courses and a lot of work in other platforms as well. But the reason I like LinkedIn so much is because it's just full of your ideal clients. Everyone that's sort of business orientated are there. It's growing still at a rapid rate. I think there's still something like 2 new profiles appearing on there every second, and I think it's exceeded now 350 million users. And anytime I sort of reach out and I'm looking for a specialist in something, you can find them anywhere around the world. It was interesting. I'll give you an example that. I'm involved with a program that you're well aware of, the KPI, and one of the people in KPI contacted me yesterday and asked me how to go about getting a VA for themselves. And I said, look, just do a quick search and I went on LinkedIn while I was talking to her and said, look, just put in advanced search virtual assistant in the Philippines and see what comes up. And there was 6,000 options there. Therein is the power of LinkedIn in one respect, as far as finding and connecting with the right type of people you need to work with, but also in finding and connecting with your clients.
Yeah, I found LinkedIn to be amazing because, as a career coach, obviously, most of my clients, I'm coaching them on how to create a LinkedIn profile, how to leverage it, how to find the key players in their target companies or their target industries. And they just can't believe that they've got everything at their fingertips. And I get 1 or 2 people who are really reluctant because they say, oh no, I don't want to be on social media. I don't use Facebook. And I tell them that, well, Facebook's great, but it's not the same as LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a professional networking site, and now it's become this B2B site as well. It's really evolved a lot over the years, hasn't it?
Oh, it certainly is, and one thing, and one of many things I love about it is that there's no one size fits all that works. It's really a matter of deciding up front what it is that you want to achieve from it, and then optimizing your profile for that. So, as an example, if you look at my profile, it's obviously very, very much steered around helping people with social media. But then, of course, if somebody was looking to enter into a new career, then they would optimize or set up their summary and their profile in a very different way. It's all about having your profile talk to the people you want to connect with, and of course, so that someone looking for a new career should be profiling optimizing their profile to reach out to the type of companies that they want to work with, as opposed to how I would do it.
Yeah. Oh, there's so much to learn on LinkedIn, and so many things keep changing all the time. But it's a really, really good way to connect people. Now, Adam, tell me about Mentor to Success. What do you provide within that side of your business?
Well, Jane, Mentor to Success is my key consulting program, and it's really designed for business owners or entrepreneurs to really position themselves as a thought leader through social media. And we have a number of programs just depending on how much assistance people need. So we have a completely done for you program where we basically do everything right down to ghost writing blog posts and everything for them. A done with you program where they're doing half the work and our team does half, and of course a do it yourself version where we basically just train them into the skills that they need to manage their own social program. And then a new program that's just been bolted onto that, which is a traffic generation. So it gets lots of, hundreds of thousands of your ideal type of clients heading to your website or landing pages every month. So essentially, that's what the program's all about.
Now, Adam, as an entrepreneur, and having set up multiple businesses and been successful, really with every business that you've started and sold as well, what would you say are the most challenging aspects of being an entrepreneur?
Oh, that's a great question. It's I think the biggest challenge I had to get my head around was delegating responsibilities. And a lot of the entrepreneurs I work with have a similar problem where they're trying to do too much themselves and not focusing on the business, a little stuck in the business. Once I sort of embraced that whole concept of building a great team around me, and that includes some outsourcing options with VAs and that sort of thing, life became a heck of a lot easier. And I also found that the people that you partner with and work with usually just as passionate about the part they do and end up doing it better than you can anyway. And that's obviously a great outcome. Mm-hmm. That was certainly, I think, the biggest learning for me.
And what about the most rewarding aspect of being an entrepreneur? What really gets your pulse going and your heart singing about entrepreneurship?
I think it's just being the master of your own destiny, and really having a vision to achieve something, and then putting a plan in place to make it happen, and then when it does, it's just an amazing journey.
Mm. Now, I have to tell you, I have in my hot little hands a fabulous book called Social Media Secret Sauce, which is your first book. Tell us a little bit about the book and what you've got in there, all that valuable information.
Yeah, thanks, Jane. It's the book's been out for just over 12 months now, but it's still selling quite well. And it's just a bit of a blueprint on how you can grow your following on a number of different platforms, and some little tools that you can access to help you do that, and how you can do it in a very time effective manner so it doesn't overpower your whole existence. If you're very strategic and follow the methodology there, you can essentially do that in an hour a day. And so that's what it's about.
Mm. I use LinkedIn so much, so I'm very familiar with LinkedIn and what I need to do with that. However, Pinterest and Instagram and Twitter were things that I thought, really, do I need to get on that as well? And so reading your book was wonderful because it gave me some really practical tips and guidance as to how I could use it effectively, and also, how to schedule my tweets as well. So I wasn't spending all day, every day, on my iPhone trying to tweet or post something on Pinterest, and just following your methodology has made my life much easier. And interesting that you were talking about the challenges of entrepreneurs being able to delegate, because entrepreneurs, we usually like to do everything ourselves, and for me, I'm learning how to delegate now as well, and it's very hard to let go though, but certainly it just takes up too much time if you try and do every single aspect of running a business on your own. And it is so helpful once you've got someone, even just to take the admin side of things away.
Oh, I agree. It is a challenge, as you said, but once you embrace it, and of course you've got to find the right people to do that with. But when you do, it's a massive relief and usually a massive boost to your business, because, as we said, those people are passionate about what they do and do it better than you anyway.
Yeah, and one of the wonderful things about being an entrepreneur and as successful as you are, Adam, is that you're able to give back as well. And I know that you have a charity that's very close to your heart. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a global giving initiative. It's called Buy One, Give One, and so it's actually a whole conglomerate of different charities, and there's lots of different charities you can support at the same time. And very, very much involved with B1G1 and the chairman Paul Dunn and Masami Sato, who started it all, and basically, I sort of embed it into pretty much everything. So, when people connect with me on LinkedIn, on their behalf, educate some children or feed some children or give life-saving water to people in need around the world. And, of course, when people do my courses or buy copies of the book and all those sorts of things. So it's really ingrained into just my everyday business life now.
Yeah, which shows what a lovely man you are. Very good karma, Adam. And so now I could talk to you all day because you're so interesting, and I could pump you for an awful lot of information about all things to do with social media because you are the expert. However, I've only got a limited amount of time. I would like to let everybody know where they can find you. So tell us all the ways that we can find you, connect with you, learn from you.
Thanks, Jane. Look, really, the easiest way to do all of that is just through my website, adamhoulahan.com. And you can get links to all of my social profiles. You can get access to the book, all the media interviews and everything that I do. And, anything that every way you'd want to connect is available there.
Mm-hmm. And if someone wanted to connect with you on LinkedIn, will you connect with them, or are you terribly selective?
I probably get around about 200 connection requests a week, Oof. And I probably accept around 150 of them. And, but I'll give you a little tip for when you are connecting with people on LinkedIn, and that's just go that extra mile, and instead of using that very bland vanilla, I'd like to connect you on LinkedIn that the message sets up. Just write something a little bit personalised, and I guarantee your acceptance rates will be much higher than 90%.
Now, so we've got Social Media Secret Sauce, your book, which is really helpful because I read it and I use it as well. And that's available on Amazon.com. And then we've got your business, which is Mentor to Success, and the other business, LinkedIn to Success. Adam can be found at adamhoulahan.com. I'm very lucky to have had you on the show today. I want to say a big thank you to you, and I hope that in maybe a month or two's time, can we do part 2 of Adam Houlahan?
Oh, sure, Jane. I've had such a good time today, so more than happy to do another round anytime soon.
Oh, lovely. And I'm sure that we'll all enjoy following all of your updates and activities on LinkedIn and on Pinterest and on Instagram, because there's one more thing that Adam does is he has the most amazing photos on Instagram, and they're so beautiful that it's well worth following.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks so much, Adam. Bye.
Bye, Jane.
You've been listening to Jane Jackson Careers. Sign up to receive regular career advice at janejacksoncoach.com.